Hey, what's going on, guys? Hydro here, and I'm going to be bringing you a Jayce guide. Jayce is one of the new champions for the game League of Legends, and he hasn't actually come out on the actual game yet, but he is on the PBE for all you kids who play the public beta environment. This is just going to be a little how-to, what I do to be successful with Jayce, and how he pretty much plays. So let's get started. His first move is obviously his Q, and I take it first always. You'll be seeing that in my, or you'll be hearing about what I take a little bit later. His Q, he leaps to an enemy and deals physical damage and slowing them by 30% for 2 seconds. I take this early because it does a lot of damage, and the slow is also really useful early game. We'll be showcasing it on a minion really quickly. And, here we go. He jumps to the enemy and slows them. Now, he has what is cool about this guy is he gets his ult first, before anything else, and it changes him from being melee to ranged. And his Q in ranged is Shock Blast. It releases a skill shot nuke that deals a little bit of splash damage, and has a special ability that you'll see later when I get my next abilities, because this guy can string abilities together and it'll actually give it some buffs. So let's see. Skill shot nuke hits Lux, does splash damage to everything around it, and it does a great amount of damage. And as you can see, she's a way higher level than I am right now. She's playing very aggressive because of that. And it's really useful to take early because it fares perfectly in melee stance. I'm going to call it melee and range stance. In melee stance and range stance. Now, second, I definitely like to take my E. I take this because you can string both of these in ranged mode. Now, your ranged mode E deploys an acceleration gate, much like Karthus's that reduces enemy movement speed. But this increases allied movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds. Or for a couple of seconds. And it fades over time, but it's still great mobility, which is why I also take this thing early. Third, I like to get my Q, but I'm going to show you, I get my W, which in ranged. First, let's review the E in melee stance. In melee stance, the E is Thundering Blow, which knocks enemies back. We'll showcase this, knocks enemies back. Oh, I killed the thing. Sorry about that. And your W in melee stance is a electrical field. You're pretty much like the nucleus of an atom, dealing damage to everything around it. And in range stance, it increases your attack speed significantly for 3 attacks, but these attacks do less damage. Like, here we go. Normal attack speed. Pretty slow, right? Now with your E, or with your W. It's, I take it early, but I don't max it until very late, because it's not much of use. Because in melee stance, it is a, AoE, and it is an AoE, and I don't usually take AoEs and max them unless that's how I play, but I don't play like that. So here's the cool thing that I'm going to show you. We're going to string the E and W, or we're going to string the E and Q together, and it makes it go faster and do more damage. And I'm going to show you how to turret dive after I explain more about my abilities. The E knocks people back, which I forgot to show, and here's how it knocks people back. Boom. Knocks people back. I take this and max it because it actually does a little bit more damage than the Q initially, as you can see. This is rank 2, and I'll rank this up, and now it does more damage. Oh, wait. It almost does the same amount of damage. But, your first attack after you switch from range mode to melee mode, does extra magic damage, which is a good thing to know. And in cannon stance, the next thing reduces armor and magic resist by 10%. Jayce is just a very versatile champion. I mean, he can be played bruiser, he can be played tank, he can be played ranged AD carry, he can play melee AD carry. I have a feeling that he's going to be nerfed, or he's going to be fixed before he actually comes out in real League of Legends. But I'm doing this showcase and reviewing him now before you guys get him. I mean, in case you want to get him, and they don't really release any more information. Now, I'm going to be showing you a couple of cool tricks as Jayce. just say you're in a predicament and you want to run away. Lux, attack me, please. Baby, attack me. Okay. So she attacks me and pretend I'm at low health. I throw down my W in range mode, and then I pop my ult, and then it makes me run way fast. This is really good because it gives increased mobility, and you can keep doing it. I mean, your ult is crazy like this. The one thing that I see that they have done with Jayce is the fact that you have a tiny global cooldown after you activate your ult, which your ult you can do every 6 seconds, which changes your form. They made a small global cooldown with your E in range mode when you activate your ult from melee to ranged to decrease the amount of movement speed, which is why I pop it down in ranged first, then melee, because usually that's when you want to do it. Now, farming with Jayce is great because you can use your abilities because they cost relatively low mana. Like, you can knock back... Oh, boy. You knock back minions, jump to them, and do splash damage. And you can last hit like any other champion as Jayce. Jayce is just a very versatile character, as I said. Easy to last hit. Okay, Lux, that was cute. Here I'm going to attempt to beat Lux with very low health, and this is why Jayce is a really cool champion. As you can see, first off I'm going to lead with ranged. Just say this is the situation. If you're soloing top against another solo top, and the solo top's a great harass, you throw down your thing, you shoot that, okay, you miss, then what you do is you switch, jump to, exhaust, knock back, activate your AoE while you're chasing down, do that, throw down that, and then do that. That usually would have killed her if I proceeded to attack her, but I didn't really want to do that for the purpose of me explaining more about him in a quicker period of time. Another cool thing about... Oops, sorry about that. I had to fix my mic. Really cool thing about Jayce is the fact that his E gives you... in range mode, his E grants more bonus movement speed. So if you really feel like you're not fast enough, and you don't want to buy boots first, which I always suggest buying first as Jayce, by the way, you'll see that in my build guide, you can max his E more than you max your Q, because in melee stance, it fares well if you max it, and in range stance it fares well because you get increased movement speed and more cooldown. Throw it down really close to you, pop that, and you run really fast. Don't be afraid to change stances just in case you want to run away. I mean, that's another good thing about Jayce. Also, if you're in range stance and you switch to melee stance, always make sure to attack a champion with your melee attacks. It's kind of like Jarvan's Dragon Strike, but it's not with every new champion, it's after you switch. As you can see, here's what happens when I do an attack after switching. It does magic damage, and then a normal attack. It does normal amount of damage. That's pretty much it about Jayce. I mean, I see that you could probably be able to jungle with this guy because of his versatility. So if you want to jungle, send me a build, or I'll think of a build myself, and I'll, post more about it. But that's pretty much it for the mechanics of Jayce. Here I'm going to actually attempt to beat Lux. This is not working again. Switch stances. There she is. Jump to... Oh no. Oh no! Well, it seems as if I have died. Well, thank you for watching this portion of the video. I hope you find my build and my armor... Or not my armor, my runes and everything else to be quite useful. I'll see you in a little bit, guys. Alright, here are the first masteries I like to choose as Jayce. I like to take a little bit of attack damage, attack speed, crit chance, crit strike damage, armor penetration, and switch over to the defensive tree. Magic resist, armor, health regeneration, and extra health at the beginning of the game. Now, this is my first set of masteries for Jayce. I have two. This one is mainly focused on staying alive and dealing a good portion of damage while being able to stay alive without having to buy as much situational items as you exactly need to. I tend to use this if I want to play a bruiser Jayce, because Jayce can be played many different ways. He can be played as a tank that can do damage. He can be played as a bruiser, which I think if you can play him as all those three, he's definitely going to be able to get nerfed in the future. Alright, I switch over to second build. I take improved exhaust, ignite, all that stuff, because I use exhaust and flash along with Jayce, as you'll see later as I show my build. Same thing as the other one. I take attack speed, attack damage, crit chance, crit strike damage, more crit chance. And you can just see right now, life steal, or not life, no life steal. Don't take life steal. Increased damage itself and damage with enemies below 30% health, I believe. And magic, some magic resist, a little bit of it. Armor, health regen, and extra health. Now, as I have explained before, I like to be able to be alive while I'm dealing damage because, you know, of course, if you have a glass cannon, as they call it, dealing all that damage, you'll immediately get focused and taken down really quickly. As Jayce, your abilities and stuff make you harder to kill. So why not be a lot more harder to kill while being harder to kill at the beginning and being able to deal large portions of damage? It's a really good trade-off. I mean, Jayce is 3 different classes to me: DPS, bruiser, or tank. It's just insane. I mean, Riot made this character solely for those purposes, and they say he's a fighter. Well, he can be played as a tank, or he can be played as a bruiser, which is just amazing. Because if you have a character that can fit all 3 of those roles, you have just a total model character. On top of being able to do that, you can switch to ranged and deal that much damage while being able to stay alive. I just can't get over it. It's a great character, and I suggest buying him before he gets nerfed. Obviously, you're going to get your money, or not going to get your money back, but he's still a great character nonetheless. And now we're switching over to my build guide. Okay, for his build, first I like to take boots and 3 health potions. This is the default for most AD carries and or people who are playing bruiser or AP even take this, unless they take a Doran's Ring. It's a really versatile thing that you can get for many champions because you get mobility early, which is a big thing that not many people do. Surprisingly, not many people do this. And you can also stay in lane longer, get more experience, get more gold without having to back as much. Second, I like to build a Phage. I like to build a Phage with a Jayce because of course, it's a default, or not the default, it's a must-have. It gives you health and attack damage, and it has people, or gives a chance to slow. And, I mean, come on, who doesn't want to have mobility early game and slows early game if you don't already have slows, which he does have slows. You can chain that together, and you can pretty much take down many champions early. If you're soloing top, it can even help you there. I don't like to immediately build it into a Frozen Mallet, but I do think it is a great thing to get. Next item to buy to provide cooldown reduction, more attack speed slowing, or normal attack speed slowing, and mana and armor is the Frozen Heart. Now, first off, if you want to build this before you get your Frozen Mallet, I know, frozen everything. It's a good combo to have as a bruiser / ranged AD carry / tank. I don't know. However you want to build him, this kind of works the same way because you can have damage balanced with tankiness. The Frozen Heart has a couple of regents, and it has a smaller item regent. The smaller item regent would be I forgot the name of it because I'm a failure at commentating League of Legends, but it's what you do is you buy armor and mana, and then you get the regent from that. Just build up to a Frozen, like, since I don't really know the name of it, my suggestion is to build up the regents for the Frozen Heart before you actually get the Frozen Heart itself. And do not get the Frozen Mallet until after you get the Frozen Heart, which leads to what I was going to say next. You get the Frozen Heart next. And by the way, I'm going to be having the build and all the stuff that you don't get in the description, just for good measure. I mean, if you don't want to keep pausing it and writing it down, you can just look in the description. After the Frozen Mallet, now this is important. Or after the Frozen Mallet, this is important. What I want you to get is I want you guys to get a Phantom Dancer. Now you can get the Zeal and then you can wait, but definitely get the Phantom Dancer. Because if you're ranged and have a lot of attack speed, and then you can jump to the person with melee and have a lot of attack speed and slows, you can easily burst down many champions. You know, of course, taking tanks out of the picture because they always build tanky. I mean, if they're a smart tank, they'll build both magic resistance and armor. And you can burst down many champions this way, and it really helps to gather early kills. Because early kills as Jayce is crazy, because when he is fed, he is really powerful. And when he's not fed, he still is extremely powerful. Which is why I think they're going to nerf him. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this many other times, but I'm stringing this video in different portions. So, sorry if I repeat myself, but I really, really put the emphasis on the fact that I think he's going to get nerfed, and which is why I bought him on the PBE first off, before I think about buying him in the actual, League of Legends. They always change the champion around when he's going to be released, but if you're playing him in the PBE and you want to know a guide for him, here it is. Alright, enough for my rambling. After the Phantom Dancer, which provides crit strike, attack speed, and all that good stuff that you always need with movement speed as a great character with attack damage proficiencies, you want to buy a BloodThirster. And this, I will probably say, is one of his most important items, but you don't really need it until late game. I mean, you can get it early game in place of, like, the Frozen Heart, but you'll have, less tankiness. And you won't have as much attack damage to string together with your lifesteal that you get with the BloodThirster. Now, they've nerfed the BloodThirster in the past, but they also made it so you keep half stacks. And this is a must-have for Jayce, as well as the Phantom Dancer. Because if you have the attack speed and attack damage mid to late game, you can do great things, I tell you. Great things with this character. And then, the last item that you get is, of course, I forget to tell you what to build the boots into. What you do is you build the boots into Berserker's Greaves, for any AD slash, bruiser. You definitely want to get Berserker's Greaves, because who doesn't want increased attack speed as a champion? I mean, that's why you're getting the Phantom Dancer and the Berserker's Greaves. Alright, so we got, to cap it off, we got Berserker's Greaves, Frozen Mallet, Frozen Heart, BloodThirster. Fifth item, and this is a really good one to have as most AD champions, is a Infinity Edge. It's more like a Tryndamere build near the end, because what the Infinity Edge does is it increases your crit damage, as well as it gives you a lot of critical strike and a good amount of attack damage. This thing, like I say all the time, is a must-have for all AD champions, as well as definitely Jayce, because if you're critting from far distance and you're critting from close distance when you're fighting, critting from anywhere, switching yourself from melee to attack if you need range, or switching yourself from range to melee, I mean, go ahead. Do to what you want. Your heart's desire is what, you do. That sounded really weird. But the Infinity Edge. No really explanation behind it. All you guys should know, or if you don't know what I just explained, it's a really great item to string along with the Phantom Dancer and BloodThirster. Sorry about that. The Berserker's Greaves, Frozen Mallet, Frozen Heart, Phantom Dancer, BloodThirster, and Infinity Edge were indeed his 6 items to build. His must-have items are definitely the last 3, BloodThirster, Infinity Edge, and Phantom Dancer. They increase his attack, damage, attack speed, critical strike, movement speed, all by a large amount. And along with tankiness, those are his must-have items. Now we go into a little bit of situational. You can sacrifice the Frozen Mallet or the Phantom Dancer. Those 2 you can sacrifice for either a Warmog's for more health, a Force of Nature for health regeneration and magic resist, a lot of it, or a Randuilon's Omen. A Randuilon's Omen is a great item because it reduces their attack speed, as well as it gives you armor, health regen, and all that good stuff every tanky DPS needs. Now, most tanky DPSs I know do not build a Randuilon's Omen, but if it's a situational thing, like if that team is attack speed and attack damage heavy, like Tryndamere and Ashe, then I definitely suggest buying a Randuilon's Omen, because you could be a tank if you really wanted to stay in melee, and you can even be a tank in range, but of course don't do that, because your melee is great for tanking and a little bit of damage. Now, string the situational into the normal, if that is the situation, and you got yourself a great build. I mean, I've used this, it has worked in the past day that I've been playing Jayce, so why not keep using it? And that's it for the build. For Jayce's runes, I take Armor Penetration, Quintessences, Attack Speed, Glyphs, straight attack damage seals, and straight attack damage marks. This will cause me to have a large portion of attack damage along with Armor Penetration and attack speed to balance it out. It actually causes you to do lots of damage in both range and melee stances for Jayce, and it's just the perfect rune build, in my opinion, for Jayce. Unless you want to be tanky, which I build tanky, so you don't necessarily need to have the extra armor from runes. And that pretty much does it for Jayce. If I left anything out, I'll put it in the description. Thank you for watching my Jayce guide. I hope you enjoy the character when he comes out, and I hope this helps you in any possible way, and I hope you enjoyed my guide. See you guys next time. Goodbye. Okay, and now we're on to the rune I'm so stupid, Hydro. You don't know how to commentate. You always go stupid.